Let's talk about something that doesn't come up much, but probably should. Because if you're over 65, there's a good chance you've noticed your body responding to things a little differently. Energy isn't quite what it used to be. Sleep feels more fragile, and little things that once didn't matter suddenly do. Now here's the twist. What if one of those little things is something as natural and normal as masturbation? Sounds odd at first, right? It's a private topic, and for most of your life, it was probably no big deal. But as you age, your body becomes more sensitive to how it's treated, and that includes every habit. Yes, even this one. So in today's video, we're going to explore a conversation that's long overdue. Not to shame or scare anyone, but to offer clarity, understanding, and above all, control. Because the truth is, frequent masturbation after 65 can carry some unexpected effects on your heart, your energy, your hormones, and even your sleep and emotional health. This isn't about giving it up. It's about learning how to keep your body in balance so you stay energized, healthy, and sharp. Stick around. What you learn here might just change the way you think about your well-being. Let's start at the heart. Literally, your heart is a marvel. It's been working non-stop since before you were born. But by the time you hit 65, it's not quite as flexible as it used to be. And that matters, because masturbation, while it might seem like a light activity, can trigger sudden spikes in heart rate and blood pressure. For younger people, that's no big deal. But in later life, it can catch your cardiovascular system off guard, especially if you already deal with blood pressure issues, cholesterol, or have had any heart-related concerns in the past. It's not the act itself, it's the intensity and the lack of warm-up. You're not easing into it the way you might with a walk or a stretch. It's sudden, and your heart reacts accordingly. Think of it this way. If walking up a flight of stairs makes you breathe heavier and feel your pulse, it's a sign your heart is working hard to adapt. Now imagine a spike like that hitting without preparation. That's why some older adults report feeling dizzy, short of breath, or even tight in the chest afterward. The solution? Awareness. It's not about stopping, it's about understanding what your heart can handle. Pay attention to how you feel afterward, and never ignore the signs your body gives you, especially when they're subtle. Your heart is your engine. Protect it by listening to it. Let's talk about your energy levels. You might already feel that certain days are harder than others. Maybe you wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep, or you just can't find the same motivation you used to have. Could masturbation be playing a role? Well, possibly, because your nervous system works like a battery, and like any battery, it can be drained. Here's how it works. Sexual stimulation, especially when it's frequent, triggers a cascade of neurochemicals: dopamine, adrenaline, endorphins. They all light up in a rush. Feels great in the moment, of course. But here's the problem. The older you get, the slower your nervous system recharges. What used to be a quick jolt of pleasure might now leave you feeling depleted for hours, or even the whole next day. This is why some older adults find themselves needing naps, feeling foggy, or mentally scattered without a clear reason. The stimulation that used to energize now quietly exhausts. The key is to recognize that your threshold has changed. Cutting back doesn't mean stopping. It just means giving your nervous system the recovery time it needs. And when you do, you may be surprised by how much sharper, clearer, and more focused you feel in the rest of your life. Here's a myth that's overdue for retirement: that masturbation always helps you fall asleep. That might have worked in your 20s or 30s, but after 65, the equation changes. That's because the hormonal and neurological patterns involved in sleep are more delicate now. Melatonin, the hormone responsible for telling your body it's time to rest, can be disrupted by the very dopamine spike that comes with climax. You might feel relaxed at first, but when bedtime rolls around, your brain is wired too actively to settle into a deep sleep cycle. The result? You wake up more during the night, your sleep feels lighter, and even after 8 hours in bed, you're still groggy. If you've noticed your sleep quality slipping, even though your routine hasn't changed, this could be a contributing factor. And here's the trick. It's not just about frequency. It's about timing. Try not to overstimulate your nervous system right before bed. Give your body space to wind down naturally. And if sleep improves, that's your answer. Sleep is your body's reset button. Don't let hidden habits steal it from you. Feeling a little more emotionally up and down lately? One day you're fine. The next, you're irritable, low energy, maybe even a little sad. For no reason you can identify. It could be hormonal. And yes, your habits around stimulation can impact that. Here's how. When you climax, your brain floods with dopamine and oxytocin. These are feel-good chemicals, but used too frequently, they can cause a sort of hangover, a temporary depletion that leaves you feeling flat afterward. This is called dopamine burnout, and it can show up as lack of motivation, emotional numbness, mild irritability, low mood, or even depressive symptoms. And there's more. For men, frequent climax can temporarily lower testosterone levels, especially if your natural levels are already in decline with age. Less testosterone means less drive, less muscle retention, more fatigue, and yes, more emotional volatility. The key here is balance. When you space out your stimulation, your body has time to reset its hormonal levels. That leads to more consistent energy, a steadier mood, and a more vibrant sense of well-being. This one's subtle, but it matters. Over time, repeated stimulation, especially of the same type, can lead to a gradual dulling of sensation. This means what once felt intense or satisfying now feels a little muted. And so, you might find yourself needing longer sessions, more effort, or even stronger stimulation just to feel something. That's called desensitization, and it's not just psychological. Your nerve endings adapt to frequent input. Like listening to the same song on repeat, your brain tunes it out. For many older adults, this leads to frustration. What used to feel natural now feels like work. But again, there's a way back. Giving your body longer rest periods between sessions can help reset sensitivity. It's like giving your senses time to recover, so when you return, the experience is richer and more meaningful. Most men experience prostate enlargement as they age. It's called BPH, or benign prostatic hyperplasia. It's normal, but frequent stimulation can increase blood flow and activity in that area, which can lead to discomfort or urinary issues. The pelvic floor muscles also come into play. They help control your bladder and support your internal organs. But too much repetitive pressure, without rest, can weaken them over time. This can lead to occasional leaks, urgency, or even mild incontinence. You don't have to give up the habit, but again, moderation and rest go a long way. Here's something deeper, the emotional side of this habit. Masturbation can offer comfort, a sense of release, control. It feels safe, especially if you've lost a partner or your social life has gotten quieter. But the danger is when it becomes a substitute for human connection. We're wired to bond, to touch, to be close to others. When solo habits replace social ones, isolation can creep in silently. You might find yourself avoiding social opportunities, feeling less interested in intimacy with others, relying more on routine than relationships. The truth is, your emotional health is just as important as your physical. Make time for people, seek conversation, join something that makes you feel part of a tribe. Masturbation in itself isn't the problem. It's when it takes up space where connection used to be. We don't often think about our pelvic floor until something starts to go wrong. But this muscle group plays a huge role in your day-to-day comfort. It helps control your bladder, supports your lower organs, and maintains pressure where it needs to be. As you age, these muscles naturally weaken, but frequent stimulation, especially if it's intense or repetitive, can add more strain than you realize. The result? Leaks when coughing or laughing, sudden urges to urinate, incomplete bladder emptying, that can't quite hold it feeling. For many older adults, this feels like another frustrating part of aging. But what if one of your habits was quietly accelerating the decline? The solution isn't to stop altogether, it's to rebalance. Simple pelvic floor exercises like Kegels can restore strength and control. Spacing out stimulation gives muscles time to recover, and listening to your body's signals can prevent small annoyances from becoming real problems. A strong pelvic floor gives you confidence, and confidence means freedom. Have you ever noticed that something that used to feel intense now just feels meh? That's not in your head, it's neurochemical desensitization, and it's especially common with repeated pleasure-seeking behavior. Your brain gets used to stimulation, dopamine receptors become less responsive, and so you seek more intensity to get the same feeling you used to get with less. It's like turning up the volume on your headphones so much that you stop hearing the music clearly. But here's the danger: the more you chase stimulation, the less satisfying it becomes. This leads to more frequent attempts to feel something, only to be met with frustration. This cycle isn't just physical, it affects your brain's reward center. And that center governs not just pleasure, but motivation, focus, and drive. If you've noticed you're feeling numb, bored more easily, or disconnected from things that used to excite you, this could be why. The fix? Reset your system. Take breaks. Change your routines. Rebuild your sensitivity. Your brain is remarkably adaptable when you give it the space to recalibrate. Have you found yourself more irritable lately? More reactive to small things? Less able to shake off frustrations? It might not be just stress. It might be your nervous system sending out warning signals that it's overstimulated. The pleasure centers in the brain are tightly linked to emotional regulation, and when they're overloaded from frequent stimulation, your baseline becomes fragile. You're more prone to emotional crashes, mood swings, low tolerance for discomfort. This isn't weakness, it's chemistry, and chemistry can be changed. Start by tracking your mood. When are you most irritable? Does it follow periods of frequent self-stimulation? If so, ease back. Not permanently, just intentionally. Give your brain space to re-establish emotional balance. You'll likely notice greater calm, more patience, and a deeper sense of control. One of the most overlooked dangers isn't physical at all, it's emotional. Frequent masturbation can become a default comfort mechanism, something you reach for when you're lonely, bored, or anxious. But over time, it can replace the deeper, more fulfilling forms of connection. Why go to the community center when you can stay home? Why try dating or even just building friendships if you already have a quick path to pleasure? The danger here is subtle but powerful. You stop seeking what truly nourishes your soul. You become self-sufficient, but in a way that slowly disconnects you from life. The fix? Start small. Call an old friend. Attend a local meetup. Volunteer somewhere once a week. Real-life connection fuels your emotional immune system. It doesn't just help you feel seen, it helps you stay mentally strong. Don't let a solo habit keep you from the joy of togetherness. Let's come back to hormones for a second, because they play a bigger role than we often realize. Your testosterone levels naturally decline with age. That's normal, but frequent climax, especially without full recovery, can speed up that dip. Lower testosterone impacts muscle tone, bone density, motivation, sexual performance, cognitive clarity. It's not just about libido, it's about total body vitality. Many men report a sense of fatigue or flatness after high-frequency solo activity. They notice their workouts feel harder, their body recovers slower, and even their memory isn't as sharp. The solution isn't radical, it's about working with your biology, not against it. Try spacing things out. Notice how you feel after 3 days, 7 days, 10 days. Track your strength, clarity, and energy levels. When you strike the right balance, you may find that your body feels younger again, simply because you're giving it what it needs. Here's a concept that's often overlooked: compulsion versus intention. When something becomes automatic, a way to pass time, fill a gap, or numb discomfort, it starts to control you more than you control it. This is true of anything: food, TV, alcohol, even masturbation. But at this stage in life, you deserve freedom. The freedom to choose, not from habit, but from awareness. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I don't know what else to do with this feeling? That one question can lead you to a breakthrough. Replacing unconscious habits with conscious ones is the key to aging, not just with grace, but with power. Let's talk about something even deeper: how your habits shape your identity. When you lose sight of what brings you meaning, it's easy to default to the quick, easy pleasures. But meaning isn't found in routine, it's found in challenge, creation, and connection. As you age, your confidence shouldn't shrink, it should evolve. And sometimes that means asking hard questions. What am I still passionate about? What role does intimacy play in my emotional world now? Am I truly satisfied or just distracted? The more you engage with those questions, the more empowered you become to shape this next chapter on your terms. Not just to exist, but to live deeply. Here are a few steps to bring your body and mind back into alignment. Track your patterns. Note how often you're engaging and how you feel afterward. Watch your sleep and energy. If you're feeling more tired or wired, adjust your timing. Try a reset week. Take 7 days off and see what changes. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Strengthen your pelvic floor. Gentle daily exercises make a real difference. Refocus on social connection. Schedule conversations, events, or simply time with people you enjoy. Explore intimacy in new ways. Whether with a partner or yourself, variety and intention go a long way. Consider speaking with a doctor, especially if you're dealing with heart health, urinary issues, or hormonal shifts. Aging doesn't mean decline, it means recalibration. And when you approach your habits with curiosity, not shame, you open the door to a healthier, more fulfilling experience of life. If you're over 65, you're not fragile. You're just more aware of what helps, more aware of what drains, more aware of how precious your time and energy truly are. This habit, like many others, has its place. It's not good or bad, it's how it fits into your life that matters. So ask yourself, is this lifting me up or slowly wearing me down? Your body will always answer if you listen closely enough. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video brought you new insights, drop a comment below with the number 15 and let me know which part resonated most. Your stories and questions are part of what makes this space valuable, and I read every single one. And if you want more honest, research-based conversations about health and aging, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon. We've got more vital topics coming soon. Until next time, live wisely, live intentionally, and above all, stay connected to the best version of you.